Hello everyone, Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, and I am the Addicted Gamer, and that's, I guess, what I'm going to be calling the videos I do for my Let's Play series. There'll be many games from time to time. Yes, I am your host of Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous, but I do play other games, and War Thunder is actually one of my guilty pleasures. I happen to love this game. The multiplayer action, the beautiful tanks you get to drive, and the big giant explosions with turrets flying off. It's just all wonderful. And this is a rare tank. You had to complete a huge amount of missions during the anniversary of War Thunder to get it. They had this and I guess one of the lags, I forget which lag it was, for flying. But I chose to go the tank route because I'm a joystick flyer and I just don't fly mouse and keyboard very well. And I did all the missions and I was awarded this tank. And this is a small turreted tank destroyer in the US inventory. It was based on the M3 chassis. And one of the things, when it first came out, it was a tier 1 tank with like a 1.0 or 1.2, 1.3 battle rating. And now it's got a 2.3 battle rating, I believe. So it goes against a little bit harder adversaries, much harder tanks in its match. But still, it's one of the few tanks at its level with a 75mm, and it has some armor-piercing rounds that really do a lot of damage. First, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the armor on this baby, because it isn't that good at all. You can see here, there isn't really much armor anywhere over 50mm. So if you get caught, all they have to do is flank you, and you'll see as we go around the side, the 25mm on the side against the Panzer IVs and Panzer IIIs that you're going against are just going to kick your butt, and pretty much almost anything could one-shot you, even some of the lower tiers if they hit you right. There's just ammo everywhere, and you'll see that in just a few seconds. But I love this tank, and it's one of the tanks that I've been most successful in. Let's go over here and I'll show you. You can see, just if you thread the needle between the driver and the secondary driver, there's just a bunch of ammo behind them, and that's what you're going to hit. And if you don't hit the ammo, you're going to hit the engine and the fuel tanks. So no matter which way you hit this, on the sides, on the back, on the front, you're going to do some damage. And it's an open top turreted tank destroyer, so it's definitely going to be able to be hurt bad by machine gun fire. And let me tell you, I've lost a couple of crewmen due to that many times. So we're going to jump into a match here, and then we'll start talking a little bit about what's going on. Alright, we got Corellia, so we're going to go and we're going to try to find a good place to be. This is one of those maps that everybody goes and tries to be the tank that's going to be the camper and camp the spawn point of the other side, and that's not something I do. Thanks to the ZIS-30, I fixed one of the errors I had in the beginning, which was getting stuck on that tank trap. So we're going to go past the spawn point of the other team, which is kind of dangerous, but in this situation the other team was not choosing to come out that entrance. In fact, they spawned all the way on the other side of the map because this is a domination map, which means you have to capture and hold the A point to tick down the tickets on the other side. So this is a pretty speedy tank, both forward and reverse, and it's got a very quick moving turret for its size. It's not as quick as some of the older, some of the more advanced tanks that you'll get later on, but for a tier 1, this is a pretty decent tank. And you're saying, why am I showing you tier 1? Well, tier 1 actually has a lot of experienced players playing in it because the tanks tend to be a little bit more on par with each other. There are some that some people think are a little bit overpowered, but you'll see Gaijin occasionally nerf something or up the DPM on another, or DPS DPM on another one of the tanks to try to balance it as much as they can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to come back here, always watching my 6, looking around the corners and see where I am, and try to dominate the other team from this high point, from this advantage, because if you see, they're at a disadvantage coming from the other spawn point. And we've got the Zis 30 over here, I think it is, and we can take a couple of pot shots at him over here, and we should be able to... ooh, that's not a Zis 30, is it? Looks like a Stug. And we're just going to keep on hitting it for the next couple of seconds, because it's actually a pretty far distance. The Stug is a little bit better armored, and you can see where the ammunition is. It's going to be difficult for me to hit it from this angle, but I could keep taking out a couple of its crewmen, and that's exactly what we did. We took out enough crewmen to actually knock that tank out. Now the key here is to never stay in one place. If you stay in one place, someone's going to know you're there and they're going to kill you. So you want to keep on moving up, getting your... There you go, another Stug. How about that? I think that was a Stug at least. We're going to have to check that one out again. Taking your shot and then backing off. And I think I stayed here because I've got a quick enough reload time here. And I overpenned that one. I probably should have dropped down to the standard shell. But I'm using AP shells just to start out. So this particular match goes on for quite a while, but it is killer. And I think I do there. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's a PZ2, a Panzer II. Nope, it's Panzer 1. And that was an anti-aircraft gun, and he could actually rip through the armor of my tank if he really wanted to. If he was firing high explosive there, he probably would have taken out a couple of my crewmen. So when you have the high point like this, the other team really is at a disadvantage, because it is kind of difficult to see through the different brush. You could always turn down your options, but I think only certain people that are really into the game, that want to break the game a little bit, are doing that. I'm looking for the perfect place to hit it, and of course we're bouncing off all over the place. Now the 75mm really didn't have the punch power. The M4s were armed with them a little bit later, and they couldn't even penetrate the Tigers and the Panzers that they were encountering. And later on, you actually got the 76mm high velocity mount, gun mounted to it, that actually gave it a little bit more punch. So there are some of these different tanks that we're going to be able to take out readily. We just want to make sure that we don't go through all of our weapons quickly. I could have taken a bomber there, and I should have, so they didn't get one. But what I'm trying to do here is trying to actually play as long as I can with this one tank, because I want to rack up the kills. So because they got the bomber and I didn't, I decided that since I don't know if I trusted the rest of my team to actually take him down. So I tried to go up there and tried to take this guy down. But of course, he's faster than me, being in the Beaufort bomber, sorry. And there was no way I was going to take him out. So because he's already gone, we're going to jump out of this as quickly as we can. There's no reason to be there. And my tank is already fixed, and we're able to take this guy right out. That was perfect timing. Think about it. If I didn't hit the J key at that minute, that tank would have destroyed me, because there's absolutely no way I would have survived one shot from that guy if he placed it well. All he has to do is put it right through the front of my tank, and I'm dead. So at this point, I see that I can get a bomber, and I don't want them to get one, so I get myself an Avenger. And sometimes you're doing it not because you want to get and rack up the kills, but because if you don't get a bomber and no one else on your team has one, it's going to default to the other team. And you don't want to give the other team an advantage. So when you're doing YouTube videos like this, sometimes you just want to show off your tank, and that's one of the things that you can do. Or you can do what I do and come in the game and try to, you know, make believe that you know how to fly a bomber and drop a bunch of bombs and absolutely do nothing. Essentially, I took the bomber to keep it away from them. I got 14 hits. Oh, I did destroy a ground unit and didn't know it. And then I just kill the bomber, get back into my M8A1, and go off and do the things that I do the best. Not better than other people, but what I do best for me, which is kill other tanks with my tank. So I start trying to find other tanks down here, and I actually do a good job at this. I'm looking for the lower glacis, but I saw that opening right down the center and decided to do it. Look at him. He was rushing up here, knew that I was up here, and we just blew his turret right off. Alright, so we're going to look down here again. And we've got a guy sideways. We could take out his commander. We've got another anti-aircraft gun over there, or somebody with a 50 caliber machine gun shooting at us. And we will take damage, and we probably will die in this game. It's just what happens to me, because at some point I get a little bit too aggressive at times. I'm trying to remember this one. I just know this is my second best game ever in this particular tank. My best one I think I'll put up later next week, but I want to start putting up War Thunder tanks videos, because I want you to know that I do other things besides Star Citizen. And I'm probably going to be doing Elite Dangerous again, since they have that Titan giveaway. You got to find a canister of Titans and deliver them, and you could win a NVIDIA Titan 2. And oh, look at that. Look at that. Was that not one of the luckiest shots that I could ever have? So I now have 8 kills. And look, this one is balanced because you do not have any kind of of artillery. So as these guys are all dropping artillery on me, which can take out crewmen and mess up my tank real badly, I've got none to send back to them. The only thing I could send them is a little bit of lead. And look at that. Finally a Stug that lines up for me the right way. And taking out those 2 over to the left of me like I did just opened it up for my team to move up and take the cap. And we are in the lead at this point, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, so wow, that is just good, right? So we've got a bomber coming. I'm gonna take my maybe I shouldn't, and that's what I'm thinking over here. And I decide I'm just gonna park my tank over here, and I thought I was gonna take the fighter, but I waited too long. Oh, and there I go. I'm gonna take the fighter, and I'm gonna leave this right here. Pretty much because if I leave my tank behind this rock, the chances of somebody else making me are slim to none. So we have an SBD-3 at this point. It's going to be tough for us to get, because he is already in the dive by the time we get in. And the minute we see him dropping too low... Now, I thought he got me here, and I got the aircraft destroyed, and I did not shoot him down. What happens there is that I got enough hits on him for when he committed suicide, I got him. But look how close he got to me. Look at that. Holy moly. I could have been killed. And what actually happened there is he probably tried to drop the bombs near the circle, and that was probably the wreck of my... That was probably my carcass burning from me jumping out of the plane. So you can see how this is. Once you have the hill, you can just make use of rocks and stuff. And there we go, another tank destroyed. This was one of my best games ever in this tank. Usually when I'm getting 12 and 13 kills, I'm getting it by using multiple tanks. And what I'm doing here now is trying to see where this guy is. And I'm moving up. And he's using his machine gun to try to get in on me. Ooh. We're getting hits, but we're almost out of our armor piercing, so we've got to watch that, because we run out of armor piercing, we're not going to be able to do much in this game. So we've got our 10 kills, and believe it or not, we do lead in kills, but we do not lead in points. I think the person that beats us actually has more capture points than we do. So all we're doing at this point is trying to kill our driver by driving at like 1 mile an hour into a rock. It is definitely something that can knock you unconscious, you know? I'm just saying that sarcastically. So trying to get around these rocks, see if I could see the tank trying to maneuver around our group. And look, we are losing. We are losing. Look how many tickets we have left. And it was because of us holding this ridgeline and keeping the other tanks away that gave us the opportunity to come back in this game and win. Look at this. Look at this. Thank you very much. And that M2 took out the gun, took out a crewman, all with one shot. And I think we get an assist on that one. Nope, we got a ground kill. That's 12. And that's what I'm talking about. 12 kills, double ace plus. This has been a wonderful tank match. And now I'm starting to think, how many players could possibly be left, right? That's an important thing. So I'm looking, and there aren't many left. So do I take the bomber? Do I not take the bomber? Do I take the bomber? Well, I've gotten this far so far with my tank. Why would I want to take a bomber, right? So I'm going to start looking over here, and this guy is booking. I mean, he is just outright booking. And he isn't a fast tank, and believe it or not, we are not going to catch him. Nope, we have a very low velocity gun. If we had a 76mm, we would have been able to catch him. But we did not have a gun that was had a velocity high enough to catch him. So we're going to be a little bit more daring now. We're going to give up our great position on the hill, and we're going to come down, and we're going to see what we can see. And we're able to take out his transmission a little bit, and he gets behind. Let's see this guy up here. Nope, he's behind a rock. So both guys that we could go for right now are behind rocks. And we're not going to get this gentleman over here. So what I'm going to do is just hang out on this hill for a little bit and see who I can see. I'm waiting for the other guy, looking at the mini-map. Remember, always keep your situational awareness. So we got an assist because a guy that was hanging out on the rock down below actually just got killed by someone else. Here's where I die. This is where I'm stupid. I get my bomber. Stupid, I put myself out in the open. And I thought they only had one tank left. But there was actually, I believe, what was a PZ-2, a Panzer II, that was able to take out my guy. And he probably rejoiced, not realizing that he was hitting what was essentially an abandoned tank. And you'll see it come up in just a second, unless it already came up. And I missed. He was going too fast. I missed with all my bombs. Again, not the best bomber. Still waiting to see if and when I die, but I'm sure I'm dead by now. And if not by now, I'm dead in the next few seconds. Am I still alive down there? Yeah, I was still alive down there now. Oh, that's where I died. He just took me out, that BT-5. There he is. So just as I was coming back this time, I got killed. As opposed to the last time, I just came back in the nick of time to blow up that Panzer II or Panzer III. So now I'm in another one of my favorite one of my premium tanks. And this is a Marine Corps version of the M3. And I'm just going to book back to where I was, because that's the place to be. And from here on, it's just a war of attrition. So we've whittled down the defenses so much that we are now pretty much tied. But we're still in control of the cap point. So what I just did is I loaded my HE rounds. And I've got artillery this time. I've got maybe 1 or 3 tanks. I can't remember what it was, and I just showed it. I should have been looking. And I'm going to come back over the ridgeline and go exactly to where I was the last time. My thought process was there was still a Panzer II or Panzer III up here, but our guy already left, and that would have been on our team. Oh, I spun that just in time. So now it's a race to actually get another kill before the game is up, because they don't have that many tanks. So if they have any tanks whatsoever, they're going to be hiding in their cap point. and that's it. So we're going to rush over there. And I pay dearly for this. I pay dearly for this maneuver, but I was just, like I said, trying to get another kill before somebody else did. I was trying to secure my place as number 1 on the leaderboard here. So I booked through all the artillery. I took some track damage there. Not bad though, didn't really take me down. And I have an anti-aircraft gun up here. I forget what it is. Nope, it's not an anti, it's a PZ2. And I come around him and spin around him and essentially miss him. Well, I bounce and I take him out. And then my own guy takes me out. So I was taken out by our own D3A. That was me. I was stupid. It was nobody else's fault. I should have known better when we had a bomber in the air that he would have been going for the spawn point. It would have been the only place I would have gone. So I took out my other M3. This one for the 1st Armored Division. And I'm just going to do what I did before. Just book exactly back to where I was. And the game is over. So let's see how we did. Alright. Not so bad. 22, 33,975. A whole bunch of medals there. Look at that. I got 12 ground kills, 1 aircraft destroyed, 1 assist, critical hits 7, fired 46. Just amazing, right? I love this tank, and it's tough to show you this one because you're not going to be able to go out there and get it unless it's offered again. And let me tell you, getting this tank was not fun. I know I showed a video about this one before, but I wanted to show you how much fun the M8A1 could be. And had I not taken that bomber flight, I would have completed this game with that tank. Alright guys, that's all I got for this week's Addicted Gamer video. I hope you like it. This one was with War Thunder. And I'm praying to God that I get into the World of Warships beta so I could bring you some gameplay of one of my favorite types of games, a naval combat simulator. Alright, I'm going to close it out the same way I do Star Citizen. With that said, you guys all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.